What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Stardust here. Welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel, and welcome to the weekly roundup. This is a show where, of course, we go through all the news during the week of the most popular superhero games at the moment, or, of course, the ones that are just giving me the most news to cover on the channel, and I break it down in a much larger format. Now, if you like this type of video, you need to let me know in the comments, and I need to see that in the engagement, because I know that a lot of people have been asking for this long-form style of content, and I'm here to give it to you, but I need to know that you guys like it, so make sure to give me that input down below. So we're going to start off with this right here. This is an application form that was rejected about Hero Combat Designer, and of course it confirms that the Hero Combat Designer role has been filled. Now what this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that one of the most important parts of the game, which is of course combat, is being taken care of. That turnover was really fast, and it's a good indicator of how much respected this role is within the industry, that a lot of people wanted to go for it because the combat in Marvel's Avengers is pretty good. You know, obviously when it comes to community managers and stuff like that, that role has not been filled, but this role has, which just shows the impact of how much people want to work on the combat in this game. It is so important that they nail it every single time. Vince Napoli hasn't been around for a while, so there's a lot of pressure there to make sure that it stands up to the standard that we have had recently. Obviously our first showcase of that will be Jane Foster, but seeing as we expect her to be a lot like Thor, it will probably not be a great showcase of that. But speaking of Thor, we do have a mention of when we're going to hear about Jane, and it should be this upcoming Thursday. CD Nikki on Reddit said, "I'm hoping to have a news drop next week, aka this upcoming Thursday, about Jane and what's coming after 2.5. I'm not going to promise that, but it should be sooner than later." Obviously the reason he's not going to promise that is because if something just goes wrong and it magically gets delayed, then he doesn't want the rage of 1,000 million Marvel's Avengers haters to give him a bunch of rubbish, which I totally understand. He then said, also, we'd said previously that we thought the time between 2.4 and 2.5 would be shorter than the times between other updates, and right now all signs point to that still being true. In my personal opinion, I think we're going to get news this upcoming Thursday, and then I think we're going to get a release the week after. Just speculation on my behalf. No news there. For the reason I think that, it's just what I truly believe. But let me know what you guys think down below. I did do a poll about this, and a lot of you guys do believe that Jane Foster will be releasing in June. But I have seen some people, you bunch of haters, and I'm just kidding. But you know, a lot of people think that she would be released in July, which makes sense. I understand why you would think that. I just don't believe that. I think that she will release sometime within June, and I do think it'll be relatively early in June. Anyway, next piece of news we do have for hashtag Pride Month, and I love this sort of stuff, man. You know, at the end of the day, I know a lot of people, I say a lot, but I did have some negative comments on the video I did about this originally. People are going to do what they're going to do, but I think that if you feel represented by this, and if you feel happy by this, I am happy for you, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that you feel respected, and, you know, you just enjoy your time here, right? So I will not accept any discriminatory behavior on this channel, and that goes for anyone that I've seen talking about stuff like this as well. In Play Avengers later this month, we'll be releasing a free digital tie-in short story featuring cover variants from legendary Marvel artists and telling a queer narrative. Our first cover comes from the incredible Derek Charm. I love Derek's name, man. Truly one of my favourite names of anyone I've ever heard in my life. But yeah, man, I like stuff like this. I think it's important. I would like to see this stuff happen more outside of Pride Month, though. I think that, you know, people who say it's kind of pandering, obviously it's important to have this sort of stuff. I think any representation is good, but again, like, I would love to see it outside of Pride Month. But that isn't all, actually, because ironically, as I said, outside of Pride Month, that is exactly what we're going to be seeing, because finally available in July, we'll give away a pack of identity flag themed nameplates, permanently available to all players within Marvel's Avengers. The LGBTQ+ community are real world superheroes who show us that being yourself is, in and of itself, a true superpower. So regardless of where you sit on the LGBTQ+ community, you will be able to be represented via nameplates coming to the game in July. I wonder why it is July and not Pride Month. Potentially they wanted to spread out the love for Pride Month, or simply just they weren't ready yet, right? Maybe it was a last minute decision potentially, but again, that is all speculation on my behalf. Then Cine Nikki talks about patrol mode. So he says on Reddit, we still see value in patrol mode and it hasn't been actively cancelled, but I don't have any news about if/when it may be finished and pushed live right now. Obviously we know from Miller leaks that this is still being worked on with boss bounties, but this mode was so far from ready when they announced it that it was still mooing in the fields. That's how raw it was. So I would like to imagine that they're going to make this great, but I've got a Cloning Labs feeling with this mission where it'll probably get to a point where the Kree invasion has happened and they'll say that it just doesn't fit in the story anymore, and then we just won't see it for the longest time, which is disappointing. But I really don't see patrol mode coming out anytime soon, but maybe I'm completely wrong. I would like to be wrong. Please let me be wrong. And then the next part and the last part of news that we have for the weekly roundup is, at a broad philosophical level, adding more playable content, particularly content with a bit more of an explicit villain focus, is something that we want to do in future patches. I'm not going to comment on any plans or specifics right now, and probably not in a Reddit comment in general. That sort of news would show up in our development update post when we're ready to talk about it. I really like this. I really want to see more villain focused content. I think we're getting too many heroes with a lack of villain additions, which obviously makes the Avengers just look so ridiculously overpowered. And I think that we need to start stacking the villains up a lot. How would you guys... Okay, so this is a question for all you guys in the comments. If you were to reskin villains, what would you do? I was thinking about this actually as I was making... Because this is my second take of this video. Because I didn't like the audio of the first one, so I thought I'd change it. Where I would like to have seen Bullseye as like a recolor Taskmaster, and he can be a punching bag. I just want to fight people like that more often. And I think that, like, you know, unless you've got like a raid mission or an OOT, I'm not really bothered about boss mechanics. I think they can do away with that, to be honest, unless it's a big mission. I just want to see more villains come to the game. But let me know what you guys think down below. So that is it for the first ever weekly wrap-up, roundup. I don't really know what to call this. Wrap-up is Doom's thing. I can't take that. But either way, this is me rounding up the news for the week. Obviously, there's things that I haven't covered entirely, so you're gonna have to go back and watch those videos. That is the thing with this. I don't want to do these videos and completely make the other videos useless to watch, and I don't want to do the same vice versa, but I wanted to go into more detail. And for the people that like long form content, and for people that want to just have all the news in one place, you can do that. I will be doing this series with different games as well, but it depends on if there's more news for different games. So when Gotham Knights releases, I imagine that I'll be doing an episode of this on Gotham Knights, Midnight Suns, etc, etc. But if you like this, I have to know down below in the comments. And also make sure to subscribe. We are 12 subscribers away as of recording this from hitting 3,200. If we could hit it by the end of the day, that would be absolutely brilliant. Thank you guys for watching this, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.